Hi and welcome back to my channel everyone. As I said in my previous video, this week I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm going to make 3 different cocktails for you this week, all quite simple cocktails in my opinion. I have had a few people in the past saying that my cocktails look really good and they wish that they could make them at home, but they don't have all the fancy things that I do. So I've thought of 3 drinks to make that a lot of people have the ingredients in the house. They're quite simple. So I'm going to do one with gin, one with vodka and one with bourbon. So we're just going to get right into it. I'm going to make 3 of them and I hope that you either try them all at home or try one at home, and please let me know if you do. The first one I'm going to start off with is a gin sour. So for the gin sour, I'm going to use gin, obviously, lemon juice, sugar syrup, egg white powder, and then a gin liqueur. For this one, I'm using the Edinburgh gin, plum and vanilla. This is my absolutely favourite one. This cocktail, I call it the Burrow sour. Everyone knows it as that. And this is when I use this liqueur in it. However, if you don't have this, a lot of people have lots of other liqueurs hanging about the house. So there's lots of Edinburgh gin liqueurs. This one is pomegranate and rose. I have lots of different ones. If you don't have any of that, you could use Saint Germain elderflower liqueur. A few people have that. That's great in Prosecco and things, so that might be hanging about your cupboards. You could also use, this is a bramble gin liqueur, which I think I got from Aldi. Or here's a Parma Violet one. You can really swap out what I'm going to do with plum and vanilla for anything that you have hanging about the house, and it will taste just as good. It'll taste really yummy. So we're going to start with this cocktail. First of all, we're going to start with the gin, and we're going to do 35 mils of gin in the shaker. So we'll rattle our way through these ones today. So 35 ml in here. Then it's just going to be the same of gin liqueur as well. It's going to be 35. If you haven't tried the plum and vanilla, I would really recommend it. It's so good. I absolutely love it. It really is my favourite, and it's always a great hit with everyone when I make it and people come over as well. So again, equal quantities of both of them. Then we're going to do 20 ml of lemon juice. I have already squeezed. So 20 ml goes in here. Right. And then just 10 ml of sugar syrup. You can make your own sugar syrup. It's really easy. It's just a cup of water and a cup of sugar. Dissolve it over the stove until it sort of all melts together, or you can just buy this. It's like £4 in the supermarket, so either or. In here. Then for the foamy top, we are going to use egg white. For this one, I'm going to use egg white powder. This is for people that are maybe a bit squeamish to use actual egg whites. This is perfect. You get this in the bacon aisle. I've said this a few times in my videos. I think it's great. So just a teaspoon of egg white powder in here. So there we go. That's all the things. So we're going to put our ice in. Too many things going on the bench today, a lot of stuff out. I'm going to end up banging and knocking something off. Okay, so ice in and then just give it a really good shake. So we'll get our glass ready. So double strain that into a glass. Gorgeous pink colour. Almost there. Such a nice muted pink colour. And you get quite a good froth with the egg white powder. Here we go. So that's our first one. To garnish, I'm going to do a fresh flower. They haven't come out yet this year, but I have frozen some, so they're in my freezer. So I'm going to get a fresh flower just to pop on top. Actually, I forgot to get these out as I started the video. Let's see which one looks good. Here we go, so that is cocktail number 1. So that is just a very simple gin sour. I think that looks pretty cool. So the next one that I'm going to make is going to be a Marmalade Martini. So this one is our vodka cocktail, and this we're going to use vodka and Cointreau. A lot of people have obviously just a bottle of vodka hanging about the house, but Cointreau is also something that a lot of people have and don't really know what to use with. If you don't have Cointreau, you could use triple sec if you have some of that. I don't. You could use Grand Marnier. You could even use blue curacao. It might be a bit of a strange colour, but it'll taste pretty similar because it'll have the orange in there. So yes, it's going to be vodka, Cointreau, lemon juice, and marmalade. So it's really, really simple. So we're going to get going with this one. Now, don't judge me. My vodka choice. I have a very small amount of Glen's vodka. I think my brother brought this over maybe a few years ago, and I've just kept it ever since. But it's the only plain vodka I have. I usually use flavoured vodkas in my cocktails, so but I think there's just enough left in it for this one. A citrus vodka would be too overpowering in this, and also a lot of people don't have citrus vodka, so just a plain old vodka. And we're going to do 50 ml of this. So another shaker. Shaker, another cocktail. So 50 ml in here. Let's hope there's actually enough. Oh, look at that! Just there's a tiny, tiny, tiny trickle more. Great. Then we're going to do 25 ml of the Cointreau. So 25 ml going here. Then 50 ml of lemon juice, which I have already squeezed again. Great, and then just a teaspoon of some marmalade. Everyone's got marmalade hanging about in the house, so why not use it in a cocktail? Oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to add ice cube water. This one's so simple, there's not very much in it at all, which is great. Make sure this is sealed. Okay, I'm going to give it a really good shake. You can see the blobs of the marmalade floating about in there. There will still be blobs left, but we're going to strain it, and so that's okay. There we go. And then just to garnish something really simple, I've just done a little orange peel garnish. So again, just an orange, and just sort of slice it and do any little garnish that you want. You can just do a really simple peel of the orange and then twist it and pop that in the glass. Simple. So let's drain this in, and this is our Marmalade Martini, cocktail number 2. There we go, how beautiful does that look? There you go, our Marmalade Martini. And lastly is our New York sour, another sour, but sort of a different one. I'm going to be using real egg white in this one to show you the difference. So yeah, New York sour, you can use gin or bourbon. Because I've just done gin, I'm going to use bourbon, and that's my preferred one anyway. So it's bourbon with lemon juice, sugar syrup, egg white, some Angostore's bitters. Now I did say there wasn't going to be any fancy bitters or anything. I don't think Angostore's is a fancy bitters, but if you don't have it, it's totally fine to do it without, not a problem at all, so don't worry about that. And then on the top is a red wine float, which is really simple to do, and it looks quite elegant, so we'll get going with our New York sour. So it's going to be 60 ml of bourbon to start. As I said, you can use gin as well if you want to do gin instead, and it'll just be the same, it'll be 60 ml of that. So using my Buffalo Trace bourbon, which is my fave. There we go, 60 ml in there. Then it's going to be 30 ml of lemon juice. 30 ml in here. Right. And then it's going to be 50 ml of sugar syrup. I don't know where any of my things are anymore, they're all over the place. 50 ml of this. And just a few dashes of the Angostura bitters if you're using it. If you're not though, don't worry. And then a fresh egg, which I have already cracked because I'm pretty clumsy, so I'm better to do these things off camera. So a whole egg white goes in there. Now, because there's a whole fresh egg white in there, we're going to dry shake this first of all, so that means without ice. So give it a good shake without ice first. Or not a good shake, just a shake is fine. That'll be grand. Pop. And then add the ice to the shaker. Make sure that the lid is down. I really don't want this popping off and ruining this video. Okay, and then give it a really good shake with the ice in there. And it's quite good because we can see the difference in the froth as well, because I've used the egg white powder and this will be fresh. Now, my glass is in the freezer for two reasons. I do quite like a glass in the freezer, but also I have a big ice cube in here ready to go for this drink as well, so it's already in there. Ooh, looks quite frothy, that's good. This is a New York Sour. A lovely creamy milky colour, I love it. Once that settles, it'll go a little bit of a more brown colour. So the final part is to put the red wine on the top. Really, really simple, nothing to worry about at all. It doesn't need to be perfect either. So you just get a spoon and some red wine. And it's sort of hard to explain, but you sort of just put the spoon down a little bit into the glass and then you want to run the red wine over the spoon. There we go. And then as it settles, it'll sort of be kind of two-toned, you can see there. There we go. So guys, that is something a little bit different this week. This is my 3 different cocktails. I think they're all really quite simple to make at home with things that you have at home. There's nothing fancy, no fancy liqueurs or syrups or anything like I said. So it's the really simple gin sour, the Marmalade Martini and the New York Sour. I really hope that you all enjoyed this sort of new video. Please try these at home or let me know if you have tried them or what one you would like to try. Join me next week when I will be making something, I actually don't know what. We have people coming over next week. My brother and his girlfriend are coming over. We're going to have drinks in the garden, so I don't know what I'm going to make yet. Usually when I have people coming over, I write a little menu because I have so many cocktails in my head that if I wasn't prepared, I wouldn't know what to make off the top of my head. So I usually have maybe 5 or 6 cocktails ready to go, and I haven't thought of that yet. So join me next week when it's going to be a surprise. It's going to be really amazing and special, whatever it is. So yeah, in the meantime, happy cocktailing. Cheers!